The movie starts with Alex chatting on his phone. His college roommate Sam is lying on his bed and playing a video game on his laptop. Alex and Sam are both new to college. Alex asks how the beach was because Sam was out playing water polo earlier. Sam doesn't hear him at first because he's so into his game and wearing a headset. When he finally hears, Sam says the beach was both terrible and fun. Sam decides to share something with Alex. He says he saw a lady at the beach with something big, placing his hands near his chest as he says this. Alex thinks Sam means the lady has big boobs, but Sam actually means she had big hands. He just wanted to trick Alex into thinking something else. Sam expects Alex to laugh because he thinks he's funny. He's sure he'll succeed as a stand-up comedian. Alex wants to do something fun and asks Sam about any parties happening later. Sam says there's one at a place called the Shit House. Alex isn't sure about the name and asks if there's any other party, but there isn't. As they talk, Sam smokes a blunt and coughs after each puff. He tells Alex that shithouse parties are always wild, then puts his headset back on. A few minutes later, Alex finishes a cold shower. He runs down the hall to his room, but the door is locked. Shivering from the shower, he just wants to get inside for warmth. He meets Maggie, an RA, while he's pacing the hallway with just a towel around his waist. Maggie helps him unlock the door. Students are busy with different activities around the school. Some are working out, others are studying, but Alex shows he isn't very interested in school. His answers to some test questions are plain and lazy, like he doesn't want to be there. Maggie is seen with her tiny pet turtle, Pete. She really enjoys Pete's company. Alex's mom, Mrs. Malmquist, calls him for a heart-to-heart talk. She tells him she's sad she didn't get to hug him on his birthday. The conversation turns emotional, and she even cries a little. They have a strong bond, so being apart is hard for both of them. It's almost time for the shithouse party. Alex finds Sam and Seb smoking and playing cards in his room. Seb, who goes to shithouse parties often, acts tough when Alex asks if they're ready for the party. Alex calms things down by responding nicely. Their Uber arrives, and they head to the party. At the party, everyone's having a good time, maybe even too much. Alex meets Mason near the bathroom door, and they chat. Mason, who's had too much to drink, keeps shouting about how much he loves college. Then, he heads into the bathroom. Alex is still by the bathroom door when Maggie walks up, and they start talking. She's holding a bottle of wine, so Alex asks if she stole it from the party. Maggie says she didn't. She brought it with her. She likes having something heavy to hold at parties. She jokes that Alex funnily holds his cup like he's grabbing a guy's privates. Maggie doesn't hold back on the jokes. Maggie flirts a little with Alex by complimenting his shirt. He's wearing 2 shirts, so he takes one off to show her the inscription. Just then, a friend comes over to talk to Maggie. Maggie plans to hook up with Scott, and she's told that Scott is ready too. The house is lively, with everyone dancing and holding drinks. Alex catches Georgia's eye, and she stares back, clearly enjoying it. When Alex gets tired of dancing, he steps away to a corner. Georgia notices and comes over. She immediately wants to play a game, but the music's so loud, Alex can't hear her. He introduces himself, but Georgia doesn't care about introductions. She just wants to play the bottle game. Alex goes along, and Georgia pretends to spin an invisible bottle. Suddenly, she grabs his face and kisses him deeply. After a moment, Alex pulls back, maybe feeling shy. Georgia leads him to a room, but at the door, he makes an excuse. He says he needs to get his backpack. Georgia finds it strange, asking who brings a backpack to a party, but Alex insists he does. He soon realizes he didn't bring one, but still leaves, saying he wants to be sure he didn't lose it. Alex goes outside and calls his mom. He tells her he's not feeling well, and she quickly suggests some medication. He plans to meet Josh to get the meds. His talks with his mom are always heartfelt, and he tries not to cry on the call. Once he hangs up, he lets out a quiet cry, missing her deeply. Maggie is now in the room with Scott. She's on top of him, kissing and caressing him. Suddenly, Scott's face changes, making a funny expression. He has just climaxed. Scott feels a bit embarrassed, but Maggie is in shock and disappointment. Her mouth opens wide. They haven't even taken off any clothes, and Scott already finished. Maggie is completely surprised that Scott could reach climax without any real sexual activity. Scott, still embarrassed, asks Maggie to leave right away. He also tells her to keep what happened in the room a secret. Back in Alex's room, Sam stumbles in, obviously drunk and high. Alex asks him again and again if he's okay. Sam insists he's fine, and says Alex is worrying too much. Alex keeps demanding that Sam tell him his true state. Sam finally assures Alex that he won't throw up, but a few minutes later, he throws up on the floor. Meanwhile, Maggie and Georgia are in their rooms, feeling disappointed and down after their encounters earlier. Maggie thinks about what happened with Scott, while Georgia remembers her time with Alex. Alex lies on his bed holding his teddy bear. Alex often talks to his teddy as if it's real. He does this thing where he pretends the teddy bear asks him questions, and he replies. Teddy asks Alex what he'll do in Dallas, considering he'll probably be lonely there. Alex imagines these questions on behalf of his teddy bear, and then answers them like it's a real conversation. Alex isn't enjoying college. He thinks it's hard. He feels like college hasn't been a good place for him. He worries about his mental health. The teddy suggests that maybe he should try some exercise. The teddy bear says it could help Alex feel better. Then Alex starts to smell something terrible. He looks over and finds out that Sam has messed himself up. He actually pooped. Alex tries to help clean him up, but Sam keeps saying that he didn't soil himself at all. Alex finally gets fed up. He picks up his pillow and decides to leave the room. He heads out to the dorm's waiting area to sleep for the night. Maggie spots Alex sitting alone in the waiting area and heads over to talk. She tells him she's had a few energy drinks, which explains why she's wide awake. Noticing he looks out of place, she guesses he must have been kicked out of his room. Alex admits she's right. Then, curious about her night, he asks her about what happened with Scott. Maggie brushes it off, simply calling it a failure and saying it wasn't anything remarkable. Realizing Alex doesn't seem sleepy either, Maggie invites him to come hang out with her in her room. Alex has a suspicion about what she means, so he asks her if she's suggesting they might make out or even go further. When Maggie affirms, Alex is taken aback. He wonders how someone could want to sleep with a person they barely know. Since Maggie is his RA, Alex already knows her name, but she doesn't know his. He holds back for a moment before finally telling her, and she apologizes, laughing a little. She invites him again to her room, noting that she doesn't have a roommate, so they'll have the space all to themselves. Maggie is still in the room and insists that he should join her on the bed. Despite feeling some discomfort about what to do next, he complies and gets closer to Maggie. He eventually pulls her and kisses her. Maggie reciprocates the kiss hotly, while Maggie clearly enjoys kissing him. She suggests they skip the usual steps, asking Alex to take off his clothes while she removes hers. But Alex isn't able to get an erection, so they eventually decide to stop. Alex begins to leave the room when Maggie hastily requests that he does not. She says that she intends to stay awake drinking and would prefer to have someone close by. Alex ponders for a while, and then he agrees that he can keep her company. He tells her that she is not coercing him into staying. In turn, Maggie seems grateful and pleased that he has decided to remain with her. She takes him for who he is and enjoys his mere presence regardless of its duration. A conversation ensues between the two of them as they settle into the acquaintance stage. They ask each other random questions, such as what properties they own. Alex wants to know if Maggie had a tough first year in college. He admits that he is struggling. One reason for his struggles is that he doesn't have friends. His roommate isn't helping either, as they seem to hate each other. The only person he talks to is someone from home. His teddy bear is the only one he confides in. This worries him. Knowing people but having no one to talk to can be terrible. Alex mentions Timothy, someone he can actually talk to. Maggie likes Timothy too, but only because he is good looking. While still drinking from her wine bottle, Maggie tells Alex that her turtle, Pete, perished earlier in the day. Alex is surprised and wonders why it passed on since turtles are supposed to live long. So Maggie explains that Pete stopped eating and maybe didn't get enough nutrients. She says she threw the turtle away, which surprises Alex even more. He thinks Maggie should have buried it instead, but Maggie admits she disposed of Pete in a dumpster. Alex decides they should go retrieve the turtle's body from the dumpster. They spend the rest of the night walking and getting to know each other better. The walk turns out to be much needed, but tiring for Alex, since he is a bit tipsy. They go on about random topics. Maggie admires squirrels for their intelligence and adaptive abilities. Alex, however, feels this statement is directed at him because he has not been able to adapt to life in college. Maggie insists that she knows this to be true. When people get to college, they make the mistake of discarding their brains, which she suspects is what Alex has done. Alex thinks otherwise and states that Maggie is wrong. They also engage in other conversations. In Maggie's opinion, a student should not have to go through the experience of learning to become a good friend while in college. She argues that this is a time when people need to be a bit self-centered. Nevertheless, Alex is of the opinion that one can still resolve his or her issues and be an excellent friend to others in the process. He thinks that both things are possible. While walking, they encounter a bunch of friends engaged in playing baseball and offer to join. Eventually, Alex and Maggie are placed in different teams. While Alex is pitching, he accidentally throws the ball, which hits Maggie on the leg and causes her a lot of pain. The game comes to an end for both of them, and Alex takes care of Maggie. He's filled with guilt for hurting her. Maggie then asks Alex if he has had sex with anyone in college before her. Alex corrects her by saying they didn't have sex. They just kissed without clothes on. He confirms that she is the first girl he has done that with in college. Alex hasn't had sex with anyone, including his ex. Maggie confesses that her last boyfriend broke up with her because she cheated on him multiple times. The security guard in charge of the baseball field tells them to leave, and they all comply. The walk back is cozy, as Alex carries Maggie on his back the whole way. During this time, Alex receives a call from his drunk sister, who just wants to tease him. He wraps up the conversation quickly, so he can return to talking with Maggie. They continue their walk home, and Maggie can't help but compliment Alex's family. Alex reveals that his mom is the best thing since sliced bread. He especially loves Mrs. Malmquist's hugs. He shares that his dad is no longer alive. He doesn't have many fond memories of his dad, but still misses his presence. When they arrive at a shop to get ice, they find it's closed. Their night continues as they search for a spot to get to know each other better. When Alex asks about her family, Maggie mentions that she doesn't like her parents and doesn't care about them. She thinks her dad is a loser. Maggie says her mom regrets letting her dad father her children. She has felt this way since the divorce. Maggie's mom is now seeing someone, and her dad is married too. She complains that her dad didn't invite them to his wedding, which further strained their relationship. The last time she saw her dad, she was 15. Maggie feels indifferent about her dad. She is neither sad nor happy about the situation. Instead, she feels sad for him because he missed seeing her and her sister grow up. They board a taxi back to their dorm. The driver nearly hits a pedestrian, but they all play it cool. The three of them talk about many things as they head back. Once in the dorm's yard, they start giving Pete a proper burial. Maggie finds it hard to put Pete in the ground, so she suggests cremation. They pause the burial and begin to discuss their beliefs. Maggie asks Alex if he believes in God. Alex says he only believes in God when he is scared, mostly when he is on an airplane. Maggie jokes about her beliefs, saying the only time she'll see God is when she passes away. She becomes emotional, feeling sad that a time will come when everything just vanishes. Maggie soon regains her composure, and they go back to burying Pete. Alex gives a eulogy for Pete. In it, he commends Pete for being there for his new friend, Maggie. Maggie shares how much she will miss Pete. She mentions that she hasn't had to deal with something this sad in a while. She stutters, pauses for a moment, and then lets out a silent cry. They're back in Maggie's room. Maggie suggests they get a beer to clear their heads. Before they drink, Maggie kisses Alex. He enjoys it, so he kisses her back, and they make out all night. In the morning, Sam is performing for an audience. His jokes are lame. Very lame. The audience laughs mainly because his jokes are so strange. He decides to share a story from the previous night when he accidentally pooped in his trousers, but they still don't get the humor. Maggie and Alex wake up together, unclothed. Alex tells Maggie she was sleep-talking. He soon notices that Maggie isn't her usual bubbly self. She dresses quickly and abandons Alex in the room. When Maggie returns, she finds Alex is still in her room and wonders why he hasn't left. Alex doesn't notice Maggie's displeasure and mentions that they go have breakfast. He can't understand why Maggie has been grumpy all morning, so he leaves her room. Alex calls his mom to tell her about his new relationship. She advises him to pursue Maggie wholeheartedly. Maggie's friends are around, but they can't cheer her up, so she spends the entire day feeling awkward and detached. Alex finds Sam smoking a joint in his room. He joins Sam, and they both get high. Alex shares his frustrations with Sam, and Sam tries to encourage him, but he ends up rambling. There seem to be parties every day, and Alex wonders how Sam knows about all of them. Alex keeps texting Maggie on Instagram. During dinner at the canteen, he texts her again. Sam thinks Alex should stop, but then Maggie and her friends walk in. Alex pulls Sam along to meet them. Maggie's friend assumes Alex and Sam are workers and tells them they don't need help. Alex clarifies that they are all students at the same college. Alex calls out to Maggie. Her friend asks if she knows Alex, but Maggie only says she knows him from college, nothing more. Alex is taken aback and wonders why Maggie treats him this way. That night, they head to a basketball party. Sam mentions that everyone must wear wig costumes, so they comply. Charlie, the guy at the door, stops them because they weren't invited and can't enter. Alex mentions he knows Jay, a basketball player, and that they should be allowed in. While Sam enjoys drinking, Alex wants to avoid getting drunk. He's relieved he hasn't seen Maggie. Sam warns him not to mention her, talking about her shows an obsession, and he wants Alex to focus on other things. Sam goes off for more fun while Alex meets up with Julia. He met Julia at the baseball game the night he spent with Maggie. Julia's friends aren't there yet, so she stays by herself. Alex thinks he's in the same situation as her. Julia asks about Maggie and their connection. Alex confirms they aren't in a romantic relationship. While Sam is busy getting wild, Alex tells Julia he'll hang out with her and her friends throughout the party. Everyone is dancing and having fun when Alex excuses himself and steps inside. He sees a couple kissing and jokes that they should get a room. After apologizing for intruding, he's asked who invited him to the party. Alex says he knows Jay. The guy now suspects something is wrong because he is Jay and hasn't invited Alex. Alex's plan to enter has failed. He tries to talk his way out, but Jay asks him to leave. Charlie throws Alex out of the building. Alex gets angry and teases Charlie. After Charlie politely asks Alex to leave and he doesn't, Charlie wants to fight. He chases Alex to the shithouse party. Alex runs into a room where he finds Maggie with Mason. Maggie hasn't done anything sexual with Mason. When Mason leaves, Alex gets angry at Maggie because he thinks she must have had sex with Mason. Alex wonders why Maggie dislikes him. He says he has done everything to impress her, but Maggie hasn't connected emotionally with Alex. She just wants to have fun as the day goes by. She doesn't want commitment. Alex asks Maggie to give him a chance because he thinks they can have a good relationship. Maggie explains that she wants to live her life without any commitment. Matt, the owner of the room where Alex and Maggie are, walks in. High from drinking and smoking, he initially excuses them, but then realizes it's his room. He comes back and asks to join their discussion. Maggie and Alex go outside to keep arguing. Alex talks with so much emotion that it makes Maggie wonder why he is about to cry. It gets intense when Alex says mean things about Maggie's parents. Maggie, on the other hand, walks out because she does not allow anyone to belittle her. Meanwhile, eager to find Alex, Charlie spots him and the chase is on. The hours that follow are really not much better for Alex. He isolates himself, visiting the court occasionally. Maggie reads his texts but ignores him, his words having no effect on her. By morning, Alex hasn't slept much. Sam wakes up with a hangover, not remembering anything from the party. Sam had about 12 tequila shots or more, and Alex felt bad for not stopping him. He wants to clean their room, and Sam, who's too drunk to help, throws up. Alex ends up cleaning the room by himself. Maggie spends the day checking up on her family. First her sister, who's engaged. Then, she texts her mom. Alex doesn't allow himself to feel sad. He keeps busy with activities. He now has a new hobby, going to workout sessions every day. Alex is sitting at the school's diner when he meets Garrett, who is one of Julia's friends. Garrett takes him to Julia and Caroline, who are seated together. Julia looks curious and wants to know why Alex ditched them the night before at the party. She seems a little annoyed, but also concerned. Alex tries to explain, but the words don't come out the way he wants. After his brief conversation with Julia and her friends, Alex steps away and makes a call to his mom. He pours his heart out and confesses that his so-called friends, Emily and Josh, do not exist. They're merely names he uses to shield himself from the difficulty of living with the transitions of college. When Mrs. Momquist hears this, she starts to panic. Alex feels guilty for lying. He knows that if his mom finds out about his struggles in college, she will ask him to come home. He doesn't want to leave college. Alex thinks he can find a way to make it work. He just needs to stay focused and put in more effort. Overwhelmed by his emotions, he starts to cry as he professes how much he loves his mom and sister. He tells his mom not to worry about him too much. Of course, he wouldn't meet people who are as cool as his mom and sister. He just hopes to find friends who are almost as cool as them. Mrs. Momquist is proud of Alex and how he has handled everything so far. She encourages him to stick to his plan and guts and assures him that things will get better. On his way home later that night, Alex finds Maggie struggling to put in the dumpster an aquarium she no longer wants. Maggie calls out for help, and Alex rushes over to assist her. They don't talk much during this time. There is an awkward silence between them, but Alex feels good being there for her. After they finish, both of them enter their rooms without even saying goodnight. That night, they spend time in their respective rooms, each going through the other's profile on Instagram. Maggie likes his pictures, and Alex does the same. They both smile at the cute moments captured in the photos. Fast forward 29 months, and Maggie and her friends remain close. Alex keeps playing basketball with a group of guys he has bonded with. Maggie and Alex are cool now, and their friendship has grown. Alex even attends Maggie's acting projects to show his support, cheering her on from the audience. One day, Maggie wants to go to the library because she has a final exam the next day. Alex offers to accompany her to the library. Maggie's friends think that Alex is only going to the library because Maggie is, but he argues back. He insists that he has to read too, and that it's not just about her. At the library, Alex talks about his plans to leave for Chicago at the end of the semester. Maggie listens intently. She has something important to ask Alex. She wants to know if Alex will stay back if she decides to be his girlfriend. Alex feels a rush of excitement at the opportunity to date the only girl he has been interested in since college began. Maggie reminds him to stay calm and that they aren't married yet. Alex laughs but feels thrilled at the thought of dating her. He suggests that they should get serious and try to build a relationship filled with emotions. He wants them to be there for each other. Alex expresses his joy as they enter this new phase of their lives together. They seal the deal with a sweet kiss. They then spend the rest of the night playing baseball. This time not just as friends but as lovers, enjoying each other's company and feeling happy in their new relationship.